WNYathletics.com would like to thank today's sponsors. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Ready to sell your home? Visit howardhanna.com today. Howard Hanna. Home happens here. Western New York Immediate Care, with 4 convenient locations in the Buffalo area: Amherst, Buffalo, Depew, Lancaster, and Orchard Park. Western New York Immediate Care is now offering telemedicine services to provide you care anytime, anywhere. Visit WNY Immediate Care on-site or virtually at WNYimmediatecare.com. Logistics Plus Buffalo is your go-to resource for all your transportation needs. LP moves freight of all shapes and sizes all across the world. Call LP Buffalo today at 716-877-9653 or email buffalo@logisticsplus.com. Ad Pro Sports. Ad Pro is the largest team sports dealers and brand merchandise providers in the nation. For a variety of custom merchandise solutions, from apparel to promotional items, visit adprosports.com. Empire Electric. For all your home, business, or office electrical needs, call Empire Electric at 716-634-0330. Free estimates and financing available for all customers. Empire Electric. Call 716-634-0330.
Hey everybody, welcome into the Friday Night Final Drive. Francis Beck joined by John Karuba on this Week 9 playoff and final edition this season of the Friday Night Final Drive. John, thanks for joining me.
Absolutely, love to be here. Although I thought last week we kind of had an understanding that that Mission Control was going to be on the background here. We still haven't gotten to that, I see.
We decided, and if you notice, we've changed things up a little bit. You can see we're in our different studio, in our other studio. You can kind of see some of the pictures behind me. We had to move some of the furniture around to make sure everything is up in tip-top shape. But again, it is playoff week. We're following, it's Section 6 quarterfinals. We're following our games. Why don't I bring up our Octo box? And I know I have some extra audio in there, so let me get rid of that for you.
Use a holding site. They're exploring.
There we go. Let's get rid of that. So we have 8 games up on our screen. And John, why don't you tell us not only the games we have, but the scores right now and the games we're following?
For sure. West Seneca West up 8-7. First quarter over Jamestown. Right now, Albion and Pioneer scoreless in the second quarter. Albion just scored to take, at the moment, a 6-0 lead over Pioneer. Fredonia over Depew, 14-0 in the first quarter. Williamsville North over Maritime, 7-0. No score yet in Medina. Salamanca has a 7-0 lead, second quarter. Meanwhile, it is Portville right now that is leading Frewsburg. And again, Ellicottville is right now losing 6-0 to Gowanda in the first quarter. So again, I mean, this is the playoffs, baby. I mean, are you pumped tonight, Francis? Are you pumped? I mean, this is what this whole season has come down to. We don't have to speculate about it anymore. We are in the playoffs.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with my insomnia anymore since I don't have to figure out playoff scenarios. So yeah, but now we get to focus on the playoffs, see the games that matter right now. And John, I'm trying to look at my screen, see who's in the red zone right now. I'm going to check. See, game number 7. Oh, they're taking a break right now. Looks like actually West Seneca West is moving. So why don't we pop into there? It looks like West Seneca West, they have a lead, and they're driving.
That's a surprise early. And, yeah, Jamestown West Seneca. We know Norm Rodriguez and Colin Wood are on the call there.
All right, we do have a scoring update. Williamsville North is up 7-6 right now over Maritime as they're about to enter the first quarter. But why don't we jump in with Norm and Colin on the call for this one?
Looking, unblocked man, and he's sacked. And it looked like it was Carson Bain again. And indeed it was. How about 2 sacks for him on the night? And this one back at around the 35-yard line. This is going to be a 16-yard loss. And, Colin, we might as well play blitz the league with it being 3rd down and 30-something.
3rd and forever. Last time on 3rd and long, they tried to go for it all, try to get a touchdown or the first down. This time, if you can at least get inside the 25-yard line, you set yourself up a fighting chance. Not really a lot of.
All right, I'm going to jump in here. We just got a scoring update from All High Stadium. It's the Clarence Red Devils, number 8 seed, 14-0 lead over South Park. Major upset alert right now.
And that's the
They
high
bended
school
so
of
far,
yours
but they
truly,
haven't broken.
so I'm enjoying to see them up 14-0.
All right, some other scores. McKinley is up 7-0 in the other over at Riverside. But we're going to jump back in with Norman Collin.
Just throw a screen pass. It's complete. He's got wall blockers. He's the 25 to the 20. He could be gone. He's the 5. That's a touchdown. Oh my God, my golly. A simple screen pass, and that was the Bernard Freeman. He fouls the wall blockers, and he goes into the end zone for an easy touch. Now we will end the first quarter, but the PAT is coming up. Score 14-7, and looks like Jamestown just let that one go on that play.
I totally forgot about the screen pass when I was trying to think of my 3rd and 36
All right,
plays. That I would normally run.
we just saw that
was
touchdown after this extra
ran
point. We're going to head
to
over to
perfection.
our game
Faked like
3,
he was gonna
where it
throw
looks like
left,
the Depew
turns around,
Wildcats
dumps it
are
off, and
driving.
Jamestown completely follows the play the wrong way and gives up a huge play. Disastrous starts.
All right, so 14-7 or 15-7 West Seneca West. We now head over to Depew. Wildcats are down 14-0 to Fredonia. Let's turn it over to Mark Johnson and Tim Klink on the call with this one on the NFHS Network.
For the Wildcats. Shea out of the shotgun, back to pass. Here comes the rush, and they're going to get him. They're going to take him down around the 23-yard line. That's going to count as a sack for the Hillbillies.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think the quarterback took enough time to let his routes develop, but he saw the pressure. He tried to tell your quarterbacks to feel the pressure, see the field. But I think he just saw some pressure and tried to navigate the waters on the inside.
About 3 or 4 Hillbillies in on that tackle, so that's going to bring up 3rd and 20. And Shipley checks back in as one of the wide receivers for Depew.
Yeah, I like the change of mentality. They're going to throw it a little bit, and I think it's there for them if they can get the ball off. It's hard to trust your pocket. It's going to be there. You try to teach your quarterbacks just to settle your feet, trust your reads, make your throw.
Shea with a man in motion, and now another penalty as we have a delay of game, I believe. And the Wildcats keep backing up here, Jim.
Yeah, don't usually see delay of game in high school football, especially with no visible play clock, but the referee saw fit to make the call.
So that brings it back to the 27-yard line. And it's 3rd and a mile here for Depew. They were knocking on the door just a few seconds ago.
Right. Yeah, they were ready to score. They were ready to cross that goal line, and they took it in reverse now. But not all is lost. There's a lot of green out there.
And 3rd down and 25 here for Depew. Waiting for the snap. Shea back the pass. Looks, and now they bring him down. No, he gets out of it. Shea with a nice scramble move and now throws it high. Shipley on the catch. Tries to make a move and gets out of bounds around the 18-yard line. So all that for a 9-yard gain.
I see. Thought it was wrapped up and popped out. That's why we try to get everybody in the weight room, even quarterbacks. So stuff like that happens.
They'll put that ball down on the 19-yard line, so that should bring up a 4th and 17 here.
And they can still get a first down if they can get down inside the 1, but let's see what their thinking is. See if they try that screen again.
So 3 receivers going out to the right side for Depew, 1 out to the
All
left.
right, that's you can see right now.
Looks like
Depew and
Fredonia's just
Fredonia.
gonna cover
Depew's
one.
still driving, but for now we're going to go over to Williamsville North as the Spartans appear to be driving. They're up 7-6 over Maritime. This is the 4-5 matchup. in Class A.
And I just want to update. Portville leads 14-6 over Frewsburg. Just wanted to make sure that we got that corrected.
All right, some other updates from Riverside. It is now 7-7 between Kenmore West and McKinley. In that one, another Class A battle. Jermaine Atkins, 24-yard touchdown run ties the game. 7:56 to go in the second quarter as Will North is driving. Let's take a look. Fredonia has gotten the ball back, so they held a 14-0 lead. The ball looks like they came up with the stop on Depew. But we'll stay with Williamsville North, where Kelly and offense are running. Toss out to the left side. Run to the left side. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Williamsville North.
So the Spartans now starting to take control over Maritime in that one. So you know what? It's going to be a pretty happy Garuba household, I would say, right now. You know, my assistant Clarence, they're winning. And my parents, where they went, Williamsville North, they're also winning. So, but I will say right now, that Clarence South Park game, that's got to be the surprise so far in the early going of the playoffs.
Yeah, we do have a man out there, so we'll keep track of that one, keep you up to date. Unfortunately, there is no stream out at All High Stadium, so we'll have to watch out for that one. But the Spartans do score. I think they're about to update the scoreboard over there. So that is good. So that kick is up, and I'm going to wait for official that they say it's good. So it is going to be 14-6, even though they haven't updated the scoreboard yet, for the Spartans. 9:41 to go in the second quarter. Let's check over in game number 2. In Salamanca, right now it looks like it's Cleveland Hill inside the 10.
And let's see, so inside the 10. Meanwhile, another surprise game right now. West Seneca West still leading Jamestown 15-7 in the first. That's another. See, that's the thing I love about the playoffs, Francis. You never know what could happen. You know, the regular season records are nice, but you could just throw them right out the window when it gets to the playoffs. Everybody gets a clean slate.
Yeah, you know, that's exactly right. Again, Cleveland Hill, a team probably a little underachieved the past years. I know when I first got into this 4 or 5 years ago, they were routinely at the stadium. Past few years, they've fallen off a little bit. But, you know, it'd be nice to see if they can get this upswing. I don't think many people are picking Cleveland Hill to pull this off tonight, but let's see what they can do. All right, so we're trying to look around, see what other games are getting close. Timeout in the Franklinville, Elginville, Gowanda Pine Valley game. Right now it's Gowanda Pine Valley, a 6-0 lead, it appears, in that one. Looks like Portville's approaching the end zone, so we'll head to Portville. Handoff up the middle is stopped by the defense of Frewsburg. Now I'm finding out. Quick correction here. The extra point by Kenmore West was no good, so it is now 7-6 McKinley over Kenmore West. So watch out for that one. And I do have a no scoring update. Gowanda is up 8-6 over Franklinville, Elkinville. There's our game 8. It's tough to see that scoreboard over there, I know. Out there, as you can see, Portville's out. Look to throw, pass. It looks like is incomplete. Oh, wait, it's picked off. Look at this. Gowanda defender going the other way. Down the sideline, 30, 20, 10. And looks like he went out of bounds on that one. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Turnovers, that's the one thing that could really get you, especially in the playoffs. And we've seen a few of those already so far in the early going.
It looks like Fredonia is making their way down, so we're going to pull them up in a second. Having a couple technical difficulties. But let's head over to Pugh and Cherry, back over to Jim Klink and Mark Johnson.
Left in this first half. Fry mishandled the snap, and now they drop him back behind the line of scrimmage. So that's going to bring up 4th down.
That's a big play. That's a big play to get that team going backwards all of a sudden. It looks like they're coming with some. They're either going to kick it or I don't know if the block's on the field.
It looks like it's going to be. No, there goes Fry. Comes back in. He holds, but they're going to go for it here. Why not? 4th and 4.
Yep, they must have a 4th down play that they have premeditated. So let's see what they try.
And they give to number 20. Runs it hard. Left side. They bring him down inside the 5-yard line. That give was Samuel Astrott. And Astrott does his best to get that first.
Old school football right there. There was 3 tight ends, 2 running backs. Give the ball off the heavy. Give the ball to the weak side running back, heading over to this strong side. That was a nice win.
That'll put it down at the 5. 1st and goal for Fredonia from the 5.
Staying with the same formation. 2 tight ends left, 1 tight end right.
Banging in there was Ostrott. Now he tries to get the corner.
Nice play.
Check that. That was Davian White on
Great
the
play
carry.
there. Yep, great tackle. Number 9 shed a block and then made the tackle all by himself. That's a great play.
Yeah, Handley came up, made a nice play there. So
Yep.
it's a 2-yard loss, and they'll put it back to the 7-yard line.
Yep, good football player there. He was the one that made that pop earlier to jar the ball loose. These one player can change the course of a game. So let's see if they can hold tight here.
2nd down, goal from the 7. Fry in the shotgun, back to Davis up the middle. Davis, touchdown, Fredonia.
Yeah, that's the Fredonia play of the day right there.
7-yard run for Micah Davis. And he does it again.
Yep.
Over to Salamanca. Now that score is 13-6. I know we saw Cleveland Hill driving, and so it looks like Cleveland Hill scored, but Salamanca answered right back as they lead 13-6, pending the extra point. Kick is up, and it's good. So 14-6 Salamanca. We apologize. That one seems a little dark on our end. I think it's these are unmanned cameras out there at Salamanca. They graciously provide. So I don't know if it's the lighting there or the camera, but I know that one's a little bit tougher to see. But Salamanca 14-6. Looks like that one is in the 2nd quarter right now. Let's see what else is going on. Let me head over. Let's see. West Seneca West has the ball back deep in their own end, 15-7 lead. Looks like Albion's about to punt away. Let's head back to our Octo box. I know you got some audio there. I'll get that off there for you.
I just want to jump in here, Francis. We have an update as we are in the 2nd quarter. As it looks like Jamestown might be on the move, so we might want to be keeping an eye on that one as well.
Or no, West Seneca West has the ball. West Seneca West has the ball. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, trying to see what else is going on. Who else is close? Not really any teams in the red zone. Brock, our producer, filling in. Nick, our usual producer's out doing some soccer tonight on the NFHS network. Let's see.
So Waynesville North.
Oh, it looks like they're having some scoreboard issues at Williamsville North. We'll show you that. So we'll try to do our best to keep track of this one. We may have a person out there also keeping track of that game. Some other scores right now across Section 6. We have last update. Falconer, Cassadaga Valley, Maple Grove leading West Seneca East 28-14. That's a Class B battle. And Iroquois is up 21-0 early in the 2nd quarter. That update was from about 15 minutes ago, so we hope to get another one soon. And then our last update, Real North is up 14-6, 9:41 to go in that game. I'm sorry, in the first half. And of course, the big shockers, 14-0 Clarence over South Park. So we'll see if the Sparks and Noah Willoughby can find a way to come back in that one. Trying to see other action going on.
Good games going on so far. I think that's what you want to see, especially opening night of the playoffs. Right now a lot of tight scores outside of the Fredonia game. A lot are one-score games, and I think it just kind of shows the parity in high school football right now, Francis.
I mean, it shows that you really can't get. Who cares if it's a 1-8 game or whatever? Let's go back to Jamestown, where it looks like the Red Raiders just scored. Let's hit Norman Collin.
And for him, that's his 5th touchdown catch of the season. 15-13 to score, and they're going to just kick the PAT and not go for a two-pointer just yet.
I don't mind that call. You don't have to chase the points right now. You're only in the second quarter. And I think Colin Melendez, he really sort of looked at himself after last game. He didn't have a catch all night last week against Clarence on senior night. He's been stellar all year. Darius Freeney has been the main guy, but Colin Melendez is right up there with him in terms of receptions. He's making his presence known tonight on defense and offense.
Extra point on the way, and that's right down Broadway. Good. So cuts West Seneca West lead to 1, 15-14. 5:04 left in the half, and this is starting to become a bit of a shootout here.
Shootouts are not what the Indians are used to.
All right, we're heading over to Game 8, where it looks like Franklinville-Elkidville is coming off the field. It looks like they must have just scored. We had them at a
8-0 was in the second quarter, or it might have been 8-6.
Oh yeah, it's 14-8. Franklinville-Elkidville. Just saw that. That just came in to my phone. 5:18 to go in the first half.
So Franklinville making a comeback, now up 14-8. Good response by them after trailing early in the contest.
Yeah, another game where the team with the lower seed is able to get an early score and make it interesting, but it looks like Franklinville-Elkidville is starting to take control of that game. We saw last night Maryville-Burgard. It was Burgard who got up first, 8-7 in that one, and then all of a sudden Maryville just kind of flipped a switch and won that one 50-8. And it looks like we have another score. It looks like Portville just scored 20-14. They now lead, pending the extra point. So we'll stick around for that extra point. Another scoring update. This game we don't have on here. Iroquois leads Olean 21-7 in the second quarter. It looks like the Huskies got on the board, and that kick is up, and it is good. So 21-14. Portville leads Frewsburg, the home team.
Offensive shootout in that one.
Will North ahead of Maritime.
Yeah, exactly. So that is certainly a fun one to watch. Trying to see what else is going on here.
Meanwhile, Medina looks like they're still in a defensive struggle right now. No score in the
Actually,
second.
let's see. Oh, we do have a score in this one. Oh, wow. Okay. We missed a couple scores in this one, although to be fair, we're going to bring this up to you. Fortunately, this one doesn't have a scoreboard, so it's tougher to follow, but according to their Twitter account, they lead 41-7, Mustangs. Kadon Cleveland scored the last touchdown on a 43-yard jet sweep, so it's 41-7 in the second quarter. Medina leads over Eden North Collins.
Well, they were in a defensive struggle, and then Medina just absolutely exploded offensively. See, these games can change on a dime, Francis. They really can.
All right, we'll head back to our Octo box, trying to see who else is close right now. We have Albion 6-0. They lead at the half. Let's see, Game 3 that Fredonia Depew was in a commercial break. Why don't we head over to Williamsville North. It looks like Maritime has the ball, and looks like the runner was taken out of bounds in that one for a minimal gain. Maritime coming off that loss to South Park last week. They end up in the number 2 seed in that division and 5 seed overall. So they're traveling to Williamsville North, who ended up with the 4 seed overall after beating Niagara Wheatfield last week. They're second in their division. They were in the division with Clarence and Jamestown. So it looks like it's 2nd 10. John, why don't you take the play call here?
Okay, so they're lining up out of the shotgun right now. It looks like a couple receivers spread out to the right side. Pistol set, running back off the left shoulder. The snap, fading back, 3-step drop. Pressure is coming, rolling to the near side. And now he gets away, takes it up the near sideline across the 35 and scampers out close to the 40-yard line. So it looks like Maritime is on the move here against Williamsville North.
And I'm sure exactly where they wanted to be, down 14-6 in this one. You know, they've had a couple of tough losses this year. Canisius, I thought a game they played really well, and then they later lost to Star Point, which is a bit of an upset in the A3 division. So I'm sure they need to be competitive in these games. They need to keep it until the fourth quarter to try to win this one.
So it'll be a 2nd down, it looks like, here for Maritime. Is again, they like to go out of the shotgun a lot. 3 receivers set to the left, 1 to the right. Running back off the left shoulder, the snap. 3-step drop again. Once more pressure coming, but he gets away. Airs it deep down the near side, and he's got a man down inside Will North territory at around the 30, it looked like. And then he got forced out of bounds immediately afterwards. So Maritime is knocking on the door here, Francis. And again, give him credit. That quarterback did a great job just going to the left, avoiding the rush a couple times, and hitting for a big play.
All right, I want to quickly go over to Salamanca because it looks like the Warriors just got a safety. You don't see that very often. 16-6, and you can kind of see Cleveland Hill is back by their own 15 for a punt kickoff that you usually see after safeties. So Salamanca is going to get great field position right at midfield.
They really are. I mean, you can't ask for a better drive start than that. Meanwhile, back at Will North again, Maritime shotgun look, operates 3 receivers set, the snap, and now it's a screen pass near side up across the 30, and then nowhere to go after that. He is hammered. He is stuck up immediately after a pickup of a couple on that play. Sometimes when the blitz is coming, you just try to catch him by surprise, and they're able to pick up a couple there, as that was Daquan Leonard who was able to make that gain for Maritime.
All right, we'll head out to Depew. Quick update in there. About 2 minutes to go in the first half. Fredonia has the ball on their own 5 with a 21-0 lead. Right now, it's those Class C South teams doing pretty well. I argue, and I think Tom Prince kind of agreed, probably the toughest division in Section 6, and right now it's proving to be so.
And the shotgun snap as they fire it across the middle near side, and looks like it was complete again. Oh, wait.
Oh,
saying incomplete. No, they are saying incomplete. Originally, they started moving down that direction of the field. So I was thinking maybe he came up with a great attempt, though.
And it looks like Salamanca is actually they just scored. So 22-6 Salamanca, and
talk about making them pay for the safety. Not only do they get the 2, but now they get the touchdown.
And they're going for another 2.
And that could be a 10-point swing there.
And he goes into the end zone. 2-point conversion is good. So 24-6 Salamanca. And it looks about less than 2 minutes to go in the first half in that one. But let's head back to Will North, John.
As once again, Maritime continuing to knock on the door, and this would be big for them. You know, on the road, hostile environment, down 14-6. But if they could find a way to close the gap or even tie it before halftime, that's a huge win for the visitors. As they're lining up with 2 receivers set out to the right, single tight end. Again, shotgun pistol formation. The snap, 3-step drop, looking. Now he's going to take it to the far side. Looks like he's got some room across the 10, still going.
Sorry, John, not to cut you out. I want to see this replay here. This amazing catch by the receiver from Fredonia off the defender's fingertips. He brings it in.
That's a highlight. That's a highlight there.
Hey, our Tim Garner caught that one. Doing a great job getting those highlights.
By the way, the quarterback scramble there, he got knocked out at around the 12 or 13-yard line. So Maritime, though, they keep eating up the yards, getting very close to a score, Francis. With inside 2 minutes to play here, first half. Again, a shotgun look. The snap, fading back, pressure coming, and he gets it off, dumps it near side, and he picks up a couple yards, but then going to be bottled up by a whole host of Williamsville North Spartan defenders. And then we have a sack in the Jamestown game, as that time West Seneca West came with all the pressure through everything but the kitchen sink at them, and we're able to get them down on the ground.
Yeah, Jamestown was inside the 10. You can see, just defender just kind of freely ran in there. I don't know if somebody missed their assignment or something, but that didn't look like it went as designed for Jamestown.
No, they blew that one right up there. I think they can go back to the drawing board. And a shotgun snap fires to the end zone. Overthrows the receiver just a little bit to that back left corner as it falls incomplete. It's now going to be 3rd and 14.
All right, let's head over to Depew. 2-minute drill going for the Hillbillies. 50 seconds to go. They are just outside the red zone, although we do see a flag on this play. We're going to keep an eye on these two games. Of course, we know looks like there was a timeout in the Maritime, or in the Will North Maritime game, so we'll keep an eye on that one as well. So lots of action happening. I think it was a little slow to start, but now we're starting to see the action.
This is the playoffs. See, this is what I was talking about. It was a little bit of a delayed start, but you know what? Better late than never. As that's an incomplete pass there. It looked like they tried to run a seam route across the middle, and instead it's going to be 4th and 14 now for Jamestown, so we'll see what they like to do. Meanwhile, Maritime near the Will North end zone, shotgun snap, and now they're going to hand it straight up the gut, fights his way forward like a battering ram, picks up a couple, but it looks like he's going to come up just shy of the goal line there.
All right.
As the clock continues to run, 1:20 to go. First half there from Will North.
All right, scoring update tomorrow. Hold on, let's go back to Jamestown. Let's see what's happening is 4th down, and I think that's a turnover on downs.
Turnover on downs. How about that? Wow. So talk about a big defensive stop. Give West Seneca West credit. I think a lot of people were taking Jamestown in this one, but they've come to play, and they're showing it.
This is what you would call brackets busting. And then we have we heard Clarence was up big on South Park, so everybody's brackets are getting busted.
And now off this play, rolling left, he eludes the blitz, fires towards the back corner of the end zone, and did he bring it in? Boy, it's hard to tell. Looks like yes, he did. So it is a touchdown for Maritime, and that is a huge play. First of all, if you're Will North, you had 3 guys on him, and really the story of that drive, that was Josh Allen like a little bit too. They had 4 or 5 guys, couldn't bring him down. Delivers a perfect pass to that back right corner of the end zone.
And there was no one there with him. The receiver got free. I think they lost track of him. And that's how they get the score.
Do they go for 2 here? The score right now at the moment is 14-12, Will North. I would think they would go for 2 here.
And I don't think Maritime has a kicker either, so I think they have to go for 2.
So pretty much a foregone. You throw that in there, Francis, it's a no-brainer.
You mean they're not going to kneel it, John?
Hand off right up the middle, and he gets stuffed right up the middle. He was fighting forward. Looking to see, I think he may have been short.
Yeah, it looks like he was short on that one.
Defense by Williamsville North there. They sealed up the hole. No lane for him to go, and it's going to remain 14-12 Will North late in the first half, Francis.
Meanwhile, Fredonia is driving, throw to the end zone, and I see some yellow on the field. I think we're going to have pass interference on the defense. So we'll keep an eye on that one.
When it's thrown in the secondary, you can almost start playing like the Jaws teams. Like, dun, 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 dun. Not good things for the defense in that case.
All right, we're going to head out to Medina. Looks like Eden North Collins has the ball after another Medina touchdown. Noah Skinner doing it all. 4 touchdowns already on the day. 48-7. Still 3 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Early player of the game candidate.
Player of the night.
For sure.
So let's head back to Depew. John, why don't you take the call?
So, Fredonia, 21-0, 43 seconds left, 2nd and 10. Shotgun snap, handoff goes up the middle. Not a whole lot there as Depew, the Wildcats, got right up the middle. Good time to call a run blitz right there. However, it looked like he picked up the yardage necessary for a first down, but not a whole lot after that.
And it looks like Salamanca's going for one more score before the half. Run up the middle. And
Still waiting
waiting.
for the signal. Still waiting for it. I think the referees might be talking about it from here.
well, the far ref hasn't moved in at all, which is kind of strange. Usually they move in
Now he's
at this point.
but it looked like the way they're reacting, they may have been a little short.
Little short. Hopefully it looks like they had a timeout because the clock is stopped right now. We are keeping an eye on that Fredonia Depew game right now. 37 seconds left. Fredonia is just inside the 10.
They're kicking an extra point in Salamanca.
Yeah, so it looks like they
So
did score a
got the
touchdown.
And the extra point is good as well.
So 31-6 Salamanca. 13 seconds go in the second half. But here's Fredonia looking for another touchdown. Throw over the middle. Oh, that was incomplete. I thought we were going to have another
Yeah, I
fantastic
thought-
catch.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, but it almost looked like with a couple Depew defenders right there, they could have made a pick. So at the same time, while it could have been a great catch, I think Fredonia's a little bit fortunate right now. They're going to get this ball back. With 33 seconds to play in the first half, still Fredonia up 21.
All right. Meanwhile, we have some scores from our. You can't call that the Twitterverse because they're on my phone. I don't know. From our good friends of Western New York Athletics, West Seneca West, Jamestown. They're actually still in the first half, so we'll catch the end of that drive. Falconer, Cassadaga Valley, Maple Grove, 28-20 over West Seneca East, and then at halftime it's Franklinville, Elkinville, 14-8 over Gowanda. That one has hit the half in Class D. But why don't we turn it over to Mark Johnson and Tim Klink for the call on this 3rd and 9.
Meanwhile, it's 3rd down.
All right, so you're seeing it full empty. See if they get a quarterback keeper here.
Fry looks, fires inside, has his man, touchdown, Fredonia. Brandon Wansky, number 11 with the catch. And that was beautifully done.
That was a cannon. That receiver caught it in self-defense. That was a heck of a throw, heck of a catch, great execution. Nice job, Fredonia. Just very impressive today.
Ethan Fry let it fly for the 4th score today, and he'll be holding here for Trebone.
Yeah, that was a vapor trail.
So this thing is starting to turn into a rout here.
Yeah, and just they went down the field in a minute 30. They were helped a little bit from a penalty here and there.
Well, here's another penalty. Offsides on the defensive team. Once again, it's mistake after mistake here from Depew.
Yeah, and it's tough. You know, you the whole week builds up into something and that you create in your mind is something really positive, and then things don't go your way, and it's a difficult emotion to deal with.
So now it looks like the Hillbillies going to come back in with their offensive unit, go for 2 here. 32.2 seconds left in this first half.
Yeah, I don't think I would go for 2 here, just because I don't want to show my 2-point play to the next opponent. It looks like they're going with something basic, probably the same play we saw last time on that 4th down.
Fry and the give. Davis, and that's a 2-point conversion.
Yep, went back to the, it's like their go-to short yardage play. They get an offset backfield away from the strength and then run to the strength.
All right, welcome back. Friday Night Final Drive. You can see me and John. We're going to take a break in just a few moments, but I have two more scoring updates to pass along. Monsignor Martin, it's St. Joe's up 14-3 over Bishop Timon, and then Iroquois is up 29-7 at the half. So 14-3 Marauders over Timon, 29-7 Iroquois over Elaine. Did I mix it up before? I don't know if I did. But I think this time for a break, so John, take us there.
Absolutely. So we will take a break now. You are watching Friday Night Final Drive right here, presented to you by WNY Athletics.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Final Drive. Francis Beck, John Caruba, Week 9, final edition this year of the Friday Night Final Drive. John, we have some scoring updates from the city.
Yes, and I'll start again because you know how much I love Clarence. Clarence up 21-12 over South Park. And then
over at Riverside, it is 7-6 McKinley. So the half ended with a Denante Rogers end zone interception for Kenmore West. It looks like McKinley was driving, so we got that with 35 seconds left, and then Kenmore West kneeled it out to take that 1-point deficit into the
halftime locker room.
Halftime locker room.
There we go. But I mean, it's been. Looking at all these scores right now, I mean, most of them are one possessions, like we said. I mean, there's a couple that are multiple, but I mean, you've got 4 or 5 barn burner games right here, France, and you could see kind of why a lot of these teams are so tightly grouped record-wise throughout the season, because you see a lot of talent on display. Especially, I want to shout out in that Williamsville North game. I mean, Montrese Webster for Maritime. I mean, on that final drive, I mean, that was special. I mean, Little North was coming with blitzes multiple times, and they just couldn't get him down. And ultimately, Maritime got the touchdown. Now, give Will North credit. They stopped him on the 2-point attempt. But that's just an example of some of the great talent we're seeing on display here. And that's got to be the case. I mean, we're in the playoffs. It's win or go home now. You know, so there's no messing around with this. You know, but I will say, if Clarence pulls off that win against South Park, up 21-12 right now, I mean, that would be something. Clarence is the 8th seed. South Park is number 1. That would be a huge upset. We also see West Seneca West right now, 15-14 over Jamestown in that 7-2 matchup. I mean, it's like you said, bracket busting, and right now we're seeing that just on the first night of the playoffs.
All right, so pretty much these games are all at the half, but it looks like this Albion Pioneer game has come back. So why don't we go in with Joe Kraus and Jim Craig on the call.
First down about a yard short, but again, they're in Pioneer territory, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it.
Looks like the offensive unit is staying on the field. For head coach David Scripp, only his second season with Albion. Graduated from the high school in the late 2000s. Jones under center, the QB keeper. Now he swings to the outside, still brought down. It's going to be interesting. Is he short? Waiting for the official call. Pioneer still waiting. And it is a turnover on downs. Big stop on fourth down from the Pioneer defense at the Pioneer 35.
It looked like maybe on that play, Amari Jones kind of telegraphed it a little bit as he leaned forward just a bit before the snap. Once he got the snap, Pioneer was right on him. He tried to spin out of it, but just couldn't get out of it. It was a great play by the Pioneer defense.
Turnover on downs, similar to what Pioneer did to start this contest. Albion with a turnover on downs inside Pioneer territory to start the second half. 8:02 left in the third quarter. Handoff to the left side. The running back forcing the pile. It's going to be a good chunk to start this drive for Pioneer Jim, all the way to about the 42-yard line. Just going along the left side of the line. Minich and Haley especially, 275, 225 pounds respectively for Pioneer on that line. Going to be about an 8.
So in reference to what you were just saying, yes, indeed, Albion, they're no stranger to a close game with Pioneer. Albion beat Pioneer back in week 4, 22-16. So, yeah, they are certainly no stranger to one-score games when those two teams get together. As it looks like Pioneer is continuing to drive close to midfield with 6:54 to go in the third. First down and 10, I believe, was the play that was just run. As Pioneer continuing to try to see if they can crack the scoreboard in this one, Francis. We thought the Medina game earlier might have been the defensive struggle. We might have been wrong about that, but this one certainly is a defensive struggle. And Pioneer is just doing whatever they can to try to fight their way. And as crazy as it feels, if Pioneer scores here, they could take the lead. So despite all the offensive frustration that's coming, you give Albion a lot of credit on defense. Right? And a fumbled snap, but it looks like they jumped right back on top of it. Did Pioneer. Boy, that could have been a disastrous play there, as they're at their own 46-yard line, it looks like. And a 2nd and 10. Again, very lucky to recover that fumble. As Pioneer, again, continuing to look to drive the field with 6 minutes remaining in this third quarter. 2nd down and 12. So Pioneer, again, going to break the huddle. They're going to line up out of the shotgun, or check that they are in the split eye, rather. Snap, handoff goes towards the near side. Not a lot of running room, though. Pickup of 2 at most, and then he runs into a bunch of Albion defenders who say, oh, hello, and take him and drive him backwards. So this is going to set up a 3rd and long. Now on 2nd and 12, that's a little bit, I get you're trying to establish the run again. Maybe not as far as they're on 2nd and 12. I think Albion may have seen that run was coming. So let's see if Pioneer gets a little more aggressive here, but the backs again line up in the eye. 5 down linemen for Albion. The snap, but again, it's a handoff. Fights his way past midfield, picks up a handful of yards, gets down to about the Albion 45, and that's a nice gain there. That should make this a 3rd down and much more manageable for Pioneer.
Yeah, we should. Do you
Or
want
take that fourth down? Sorry, much more manageable fourth down, but I would imagine you go for it in enemy territory.
We do want to mention, we've been on this game for a few minutes. We do want to mention is because all the other games right now are at halftime. So we are keeping an eye on them. We'll let you know when they come back. But so far it appears this Albion Pioneer game is the first to reach the second half in this one. So we'll keep you updated on that.
And
so we'll keep you here.
Well executed end around, and I think they're going to get the first and a lot more. Up across the 35, gets all the way down close to the 30-yard line. Albion, and that's how you turn the tide. You end up executing a well end around to that far corner, and once he got that sideline, Francis, down the far side, he galloped for a long run. And so that's a well-executed play call. Give credit and great execution by Pioneer. So they get a fresh set of downs now. First and 10 up across the 30-yard line. With 3:50 to go, and now to toss sweep towards the near side. Oh, and he is immediately drilled in the backfield and taken down as Albion called a run blitz. That play did not fool him whatsoever, and this will bring up second down. We'll see how much they lost on that one. Looks like it was a loss of maybe 1 or 2 as clock continues to roll. 3:35 to go in the third quarter. Again, Francis Beck, John Karuba, you are watching Friday Night Final Drive. Producer and score spotter tonight is Brock. So we thank him for the great job he's doing on a second down and 11. It's a handoff left side, almost lost his footing, but still goes forward for 2 or 3. But then again, he meets that stiff Albion defense, and you got to give them credit. You know, it seems like Pioneer, they've been running the ball. They're really trying to establish that game plan throughout this game, and you're seeing it right here on this drive. But Albion, they've caught on to some of it, and they're making it difficult, and that's why right now it's only a 6-0 score. But this game certainly has had its fair share of excitement. The defenses on both sides playing really well right now. 2:43 to go here, third quarter. It is a 3rd down and 10 now. For Pioneers, they move down the field left to right across the radio dial. Backs in the eye, got one receiver wide to the right. The snap and flags come in immediately, a whistle, and I think this is going to come back 5 yards for the false start.
Yeah, let's trying to look to see if there's anybody else with the live action right now. Game 5. So we'll head over to take a little break from this one, just a small one. You can see Eden North Collins with the ball out of the break in this one. So toss to the right side, and running back rumbles forward for a couple of games. But again, Medina taking care of business in this one. The last update we had, it was 48-7 Medina in this one. Just a few stats here.
And a huge play in the Pioneer game. A long throw down the far side was complete. He reached for the pylon and gets the touchdown. So we had said how Pioneer was running it down their throats so far on this drive. Well, they picked the perfect time, Francis, to go to the air. Well executed. Initially, it looked like he was almost going to drop it, but he reeled it in. Very impressive. And then it was a foot race, and even with 2 defenders right on him, he got away for 6. And just like that, we are tied at 6 in the Pioneer Albion game.
Yeah, it looks like Pioneer's going to go for the extra point in this one.
So despite all the frustrations being shut out in the first half, well, they put those doldrums aside as that extra point is good. And all of a sudden, Francis, this, like we said, it could be a witching hour. Pioneer now has their first lead of the ball game up 7-6 over Albion.
All right, and it appears that Medina has gotten the ball back. Looks like probably was a punt in this one. So Medina, again, 48-7 lead. So here are their stats from the first half. Noah Skinner, 187 yards, 4 touchdowns. Amari Soul, 87 rushing yards, interception. Caden Cleveland, 71 yards, scrimmage yards, a touchdown. Aiden Pitts, touchdown. Brody Fry, touchdown. Noah Cudzillo, interception, and Logan Gray a fumble recovery. So a banner day for Medina. Remember, this is a team, they lost to their rival last week, Albion, in a tough, close game. So it seems like they're bouncing back just fine.
They're taking out their frustration a little bit on Eden North Collins right now.
So handoff, or actually keeper by the QB Pitts. He runs for about 9 yards in this one.
We've seen a lot of that so far. A lot of quarterback scrambles. We've seen that quite a bit on display. So I think the mobile quarterback, who says it's only popular in the NFL and college? I think high school.
Well, high school started it.
Yes,
high school
that's
started
true.
it.
They said, don't forget, we're the ones who started that. So I think they're kind of reminding us of that right now, putting us all on notice.
All right, so Coach Johnny Haynes trying to pull a little Sean Payton to start the second half. Tries an onside kick, but it is unsuccessful, so McKinley gets the ball to start the second half at midfield.
So that's you know.
See, and you say and you're the reference guy.
if it works, well, first of all, we all know Norm is really the reference guy. I mean, but you know, I mean, that's one of those play calls. You know, if it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't work, people aren't really calling you a genius. So credit the guts though for trying it. As meanwhile, it looks like Medina is getting another drive going.
And we'll head over back to Pioneer. Only 2 games going on in the second half right now on the Friday night final drive. We mentioned Kenmore West. McKinley's at the half. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a camera over at Riverside. But we have this game up, and McKinley's up right now in the second half. So you can see Amari Jones in the backfield in the shotgun snap. Jones looking. He throws over the middle. Oh, and it's caught. What a catch there. And brother, no surprise there.
No, not at all. And, you know, that was a perfectly thrown football. That was a dart. I mean, he had to squeeze that between 3 defenders, almost triple coverage, and he hits the receiver right between the numbers. I mean, that's impressive stuff right there from Amari Jones. Just outstanding job there. With 50 seconds left to go in the third quarter, 1st down and 10. Albion looking to respond to the touchdown Pioneer got to open this third quarter, to open the scoring in the second half. Jones again going to work from the shotgun, 2 receivers either side. Handoff up the middle, not a whole lot there. Fights forward for about 2 or 3, and he's going to be taken down by a gang tackle that time. As we go back to Medina.
Oh, another QB keeper up to the right side. Aiden Pitts going off for the races, and he's down into enemy territory at the 40. Just a big run. You know, he's really he reminded me of Xander Payne, their quarterback from last year, Connolly Cup finalist, who doesn't look like a runner, but he's just very quick and slender. And, you know, especially at the game of the stadium, which I don't know if you remember, was an absolute snowball. It was his running that actually led the day.
And, you know, it seems like right now that Eden North Collins has a hard time stopping him, although they are backing this up. They're moving the football back. I wonder if a holding call may have undone that because they're moved back. They were close to midfield. They're actually moving into opposing territory, and now they're backed up all the way at their own 15.
All right, so Albion Falconer is going to the fourth quarter. It's 7-6 Pioneer in that one. Did I say the wrong team somewhere?
Yeah, you did say Albion Falconer, but that's okay.
Oh, actually, the reason I had that in my mind because it looks like West Seneca East is putting together a comeback bid. It's now tied down in Falconer, 28-28 between the Golden Cougars and the Trojans. So we'll keep a close eye on that one. We're also looking for another update from All High Stadium. I'm going to reach out to my colleague who's out at All High Stadium on that one. Right now, let's go back to our 8-box. Looks like some games starting to come back into the second half right now. Why don't we head out to Portville, where it looks like Frewsburg has the ball on their first drive, down 21-14.
As they are just breaking the huddle here. Again, a good football game here, Portville, Frewsburg, and 21-14, as Francis mentioned. and this really has been an entertaining football game. 21-14. At one point, it was one of our highest combined scores. That's been surpassed now by a couple different games, but this got off to a very fast and exciting start, and they look to continue that here in the second half as they line up out of the shotgun. As they line up with one receiver to the left, and now it's a shotgun snap. Airs it out, long bomb across the middle, and oh, he almost had it in and out of his hands, it looks like, and it's going to be incomplete. Boy, that was a well-thrown pass. Protection was great, and it looked like he had him one-on-one, but had his man beat, just couldn't reel it in, Francis.
Yeah, just a great play over the middle. Let's keep it on the southern tier. Let's go to Ellicottville, as it looks like the Titans have the ball and a 14-8 lead over Gowanda. This
is one that I believe is just coming out of halftime.
Yeah, it looks like it's the first drive.
And this is one that I believe it was 8-0 Gowanda at one point. And then Franklinville, Ellicottville, give them credit. They've scored 14 on the insert. Lead at 14-8 right now.
And it looks like there's a timeout there. Let's see. Why don't we head out to Salamanca, where it looks like the Warriors have the ball to start the second half. They're already in enemy territory.
So,
remember, at one point, Cleveland Hill had a lead in this game.
Yes.
That seems like forever ago.
Years ago.
Yeah.
The good news now, Francis, is that 5 of our games now are out of halftime. Only 3 still are. Jamestown is still at the half, down 15-14.
Oh, I think actually that has come back already.
That's come out of half as well. Okay, I stand corrected. 2 games remain at half. Fredonia up over at Depew 29-0 at half. Will North 14-12 over Maritime.
Oh, look at that run by Jesse Stallman.
He bowled his way. I mean, you want to talk about fighting your way for extra yardage. I think that would be a textbook example of that. And by the way, Will North has also come out of halftime as well. So only the Fredonia Depew game is the only one that's still at halftime now. So good to have all these games back now, Francis.
Yeah, we were getting a little worried there. So we'll head back to Pioneer, where Albion is just outside the red zone, down 7-6 in this one. Actually, I want to go back to Salamanca. It looks like we have a big play off to the left, on the left side.
31-6 remains that score right now as the clock continues to wind down in the third.
Trying to see what other games are close. I think those are the 3 games which are
closest to a score of the red zone right now.
Yeah, we have, it looks like in our 2 Class D games, so Franklinville, Ellicottville, and Portville are around the midfield area, although Portville looks like they just got a big penalty against their opponents, so they're moving down to the 30, so we're keeping an eye on that one. But let's head over to Pioneer. Let's jump in with Joe and Jim for this call on 2nd and 12.
Play. Purple Eagles trying to get their lead back. Amari takes a snap, and the ball is loose on the hit. The ball's still loose at the 40, waiting for the official call. It's still sideline, and it is a fumble recovery for Pioneer. What another stop for the Panthers defense.
All right, we're jumping over to Salamanca, where the Warriors are again driving, run up the middle. It looks like, actually, it goes for a couple gains. I thought he was going to get stopped in the backfield.
Hey, he made something out of nothing there, Francis. Didn't get a whole lot, but never stopped moving his feet, churned his way upward, and made a positive play out of it. Got a positive net gain.
All right, about 8 minutes to go in the third quarter there. Salamanca holding a sizable lead. Let's head over to Ellicottville. Looks like Ellicottville just had a big run as they're nearing the red zone. Actually, that may have been a punt, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But why don't we head back to Salamanca, where the Warriors are set up again. John, take it away.
As they line up out of the pistol set, and it is a keeper right up the middle as he fights his way up to about the 10-yard line. Ankle tackle made there. So they see where they mark him there. He tried to kind of fool everybody, took it right back up the middle, got some yardage out of it, as that will bring up I believe a third down from looking at the scoreboard. 7:20 remaining in the third quarter, and it has been all Salamanca to this point, up 31-6, scored 31 unanswered after Cleveland Hill took the lead. But
all right.
This game has turned on a dime for sure.
Update from Riverside. I think something's going on with the ball. It must be slick or something, because we just had back-to-back fumbles by both teams. They're still 7-6, Kenmore West, early in the second.
As we see Salamanca punch it in yet again across the goal line. So touchdown for the Warriors. Now up 37-6, pending the extra point. And you can see just continued. They really have had a hard time, Cleveland Hill, as far as against the Salamanca rushing attack, and they did it again. I guess, Francis, that's just a classic example. Don't fix what ain't broken. Their running has gotten them to this point, and they've stuck with it, and they continue to get results.
All right.
We're awaiting the extra point in that game.
Bunch of games are kind of near that midfield range. We do have another update, 37-7, Iroquois over Illinois, big Class B battle. Chiefs seem to be taking care of business as they have all season long, really. Why don't we head over to our first game of the night? It's Jamestown. They have the ball, 2nd and 9 in their own end. They're down 1 point to West Seneca West.
As it is going to be Jamestown trying to answer, shotgun snap. Fading blitz coming and cannot get away. He goes down. And even though West Seneca West offense hasn't been as good in the second half, their defense has been ferocious all game long. And Francis, you got to give them a lot of credit. They're coming in to the house of the number 2 seed, and they are giving them all they could handle and then some on defense.
And they had to make a trip down there from West Seneca. That's at least, an hour and a half trip from West Seneca?
I would venture to say like 2 hours almost. Because from Hamburg it takes probably 2 hours. So yeah, I would say 2 hours, hour and a half maybe, for sure. That is a trek. Drake, meanwhile, going to work out of the shotgun, takes the snap, fades. He's going to fire it across the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended target, incomplete, but a flag comes in. So once again, it's time for everybody's favorite game show. What's the flag? And it is a hold against the offense. So, if you're going to drop a pass, you're probably better off doing it on a play that wasn't going to stand anyway because of the flag. So back them up. For Jamestown, that's kind of...
Although I think West Seneca West just declined the penalty, because I'm seeing a 4th down on the yard marker, so they'll force the punt.
Good catch there. But again, so it just shows how West Seneca West defense is just rolling along right now. And that snap went over the head of the punter, and so now he's going to fire it deep down the middle of the field, and it is caught! What? It is reeled in by Jamestown around midfield for first stand. I don't know, I may have seen a flag, but regardless, wow! That is something, that is 1 in a million, folks. The punter, it went over his head.
All right, let's see what this call. Let's turn on the audio here.
And it's
oh my God, that's got to be Sports Center top 10 there. Even though it didn't count, what an effort by Melendez. I thought he was going to pick it up and punt it away because he had some space to do it. He had ample opportunity to boot the ball, but he is the backup quarterback as well. He throws a deep one, and it's too bad Freeney pushed up because he made a spectacular acrobatic catch just like Alex Barmore does for CSP.
Well, the reason he was able to make that
I'm
catch
still in disbelief right now.
That was thrown in
first, let's head over, though, to Portville, where it looks like Portville is now second in goal right now. We'll watch as they try to run up the middle, and it's a touchdown for Portville, so they're going to go up 27-14, pending the extra point. We'll head back to Jamestown as they talk over this one.
Back with good field position, or Jamestown having all the momentum shift on a miraculous play. You saw Melendez almost lost his footing there right around the 2-yard line.
He would have been doomed because you're down where you're at.
Did a good job to put a hand on the turf, keep himself upright, and like you said, the backup quarterback, we see why now.
All right, we're going to head over here where it looks like Williamsville North just scored to extend their lead to 20-12, 6:14 to go in the third quarter there.
This is from Melendez. He will get a do-over, but
So, all right, so it looks like that play will not count. They turned down Norm a little bit. Looks like that play will not count, but Jamestown will get to punt again. I'm sure they'd rather just take the yardage on that one, but yeah, that one was taken away. We'll head back, though, to Will North for this extra point. Number 4 seed looking to move on to the second round, and who knows who they could face at this point. We thought at first they would have a date with South Park, but right now that one's looking unlikely, or looks like that's in jeopardy that they're going to make it to All High. They may host next week. Who knows?
And I gotta tell you, if Clarence holds on and wins that, imagine what that can do for the confidence of Clarence too. We're talking about Will North, but sorry, Mom and Dad, Clarence might actually be better. I mean, at that point, I mean it's a fair argument. If you can take down South Park, I mean you could probably take down almost anyone. I mean, it's a fair point.
All right, let's head over to this one. Looks like we have a 4th and 4 for Albion. Let's keep it with Joe and Jim.
Meanwhile, it's deep, and now I believe we have a delay of game potentially called. Let's see. Illegal substitution. Called against Albion, a rare penalty tonight for the Purple Eagles. So a 4th and 4, Jim, here turns into 4th and 9, back on their own 44-yard line. Correction, 41.
Originally, Coach Scripps sent out his punting team, and looks like he's got him. But remember, his punter is Amari Jones, so anything can happen here.
Multi-sport athlete, a basketball star as well for the Purple Eagles. This time, high punt in the air from Amari Jones, taking a couple bounces. And Pioneer will start their new drive on their own 26-yard line. We have 5.
All right, so Albion punts. Pioneer is going to get the ball back, see if they can try to ice this out. We'll head over to Game 5 in this one. See if there's an update from Medina. Looks like there hasn't been any scores yet in the second half, but it looks like Medina is trying to get another one. Update from Riverside, 7-6. Kenmore West leads McKinley after 3 quarters. They go into the 4th in that one. Remember, this game, they played in the regular season, both in A2. Kenmore West jumped out to, I think it was a 22-7 lead at the half, and McKinley came roaring back to win it by a substantial 2 or 3 scores in that one. But right now it's Kenmore West holding a slim lead in the 4th quarter, so certainly an interesting one going down at Riverside.
Grab your popcorn for that one, folks. It's a real nail biter.
Oh, I'm sorry, McKinley. Now I'm getting conflicted information in this one. I'm going to double check. Twitter says it's Kenmore West leading. Actually, it's McKinley leading at 7-6. I'm going to trust our Mike Bodanik with that one.
Medina continues to drive down the field right to left. They got another big game there. And here in Jamestown, which would be another big upset in the making, 15-14, West Seneca West over Jamestown on this 3rd down and 10. And, that was, I will say, Sports Center top 10. If that play would have stood, I have to agree with them. I mean, that was a phenomenal play on that fake punt. As it's a shotgun snap, Drake gets it out near side. He's got a man across the 40, on the run to the 45, got the far sideline, past midfield, cruises into West Seneca West territory around the 45, and knocked out at about the 42 or 43. We'll see where they spot him. But that is a huge play and absolutely moves the sticks for the Red Raiders.
All right, and we have another update. I'm seeing 28-14 right now for Portville, but it looks like Gowanna has the ball deep in their own end. We'll check back in on that game later, seeing what else is happening. It looks like Depew is right now on the move. So after this play, we'll jump out to Depew.
As that HB sweep went for a gain of a couple there. And now we are at the Depew game, and a flag comes in. Of course, we switch to this game. You know, they run a play, and all of a sudden a flag comes in. But we will see what this call is.
All right, game number 8, Franklinville-Ellicottville now leads Gowanda Pine Valley 22-8. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. So the Titans taking a lead in that one. And then the scoreboard at Riverside is confusing. So it is Kenmore West up 7-6 in the fourth quarter. Mike Pedanic corrected himself on that.
Meanwhile, Depew, they are threatening to crack the scoreboard for the first time today, down 29-0. But they got to start sorry as Jamestown also hit a big play, got down to about the 10. Meanwhile, back to Depew we go, roll out to the right side, and that is broken up there. So that'll be a second down and 10. Meanwhile, in Jamestown, that was a huge completion as they got it down to the West Seneca West 10 as that roller coaster back and forth seesaw affair continues. Meanwhile, Depew getting ready on a second down and 10 play. 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 29-0 Fredonia. You are watching Friday Night Drive along with Francis Beck. I am John Karuba. And so it looks like there is a score.
Yep.
And Jamestown does, in fact, take the lead. They score the touchdown. And with 6 minutes to go in the third, there may be some hope for some normal brackets after all here, Francis, as Jamestown has retaken the lead over West Seneca West 20-15. 6 minutes to play third quarter.
As we await this 2-point conversion play, as we watch it.
And also want to just quickly mention that Depew did score a touchdown, so they get on the board. What was 29-0 Fredonia is now 29-6.
Yeah, we'll watch that. It looks like they're going to go for 2 on this one.
I would figure try to cut it to a 21-point deficit as they are going to work with backs in the split I formation, and it's a toss sweep to the far side, still fighting his way, dive for the pylon, and let's see if he got it. I mean, it was close, but they ran an end around towards that far sideline, and it looks like, no, it looked like it was actually a keeper straight up the middle as they fought forward for it.
I do have a note up here from our friend Greg Larson from WDOE. It is Muhammad Khalil who scored that touchdown for Depew, so it is 29-6 for Fredonia in this one. We'll head back to our Octo box. What was that? It looks like the Medina game has wrapped up. I was looking for a final score from that one, but you can see here they have shaken hands. They were getting steady post-game speeches from the coaches. It looks like that one is over. We're going to try to get you a score as soon as we see it here from the Medina account, but it looks like that one has ended. Medina will move on to the semifinals.
So congratulations, Medina, first team tonight to punch their ticket to the semis. So congrats on that big playoff victory. And for Eden North Collins, congratulations to them on a great season.
Yeah, they were in that C Central Division. They had a tough game with Lackawanna. I saw them in person against that one. They were in it really till the very end, and I think Lackawanna put on a couple scores at the end. But they have a good season. Unfortunately, comes to an end. But why don't we head out 3rd and 9 for Albion? Here's Joe Kraus and Jim Craig.
Pioneer faithful in their hats and winter gloves fired up for this play. The low snap. Amari grabs the ball, scrambles up, still on his feet. Getting to the 37. It will be a loss of a couple of yards unless he got 4th down. Regardless, the clock continues to go. 2:19 and ticking.
Amari Jones did all he could. He was basically stopped and took it right out for no gain. It was about as much as he could do on that play. Great penetration by the Pioneer defense.
This is potentially the play of the season for Albion, trailing 7-6. 4th and 8 on the Pioneer 37. Panthers holding on to a 7-6 lead. Amari Jones in the shotgun. Jones takes the snap, looks to his right, pass over the middle. It is caught inside the Pioneer 25 on the hookup.
For a touchdown for Fredonia, a huge strike right over the middle, and it was a well-delivered ball on a long bomb, and Fredonia now really taking control up 35-6 over Depew. So Depew missed that two-pointer, and then Fredonia made him pay with that long pass over the top 4-6, up 35-6.
One clap and a snap, looks to the left side, over the middle, it's bubbled, and then over the middle, was it intercepted? Looking for the official. Let's see on the replay. Little bobble over the middle. Still nowhere.
That was awfully close.
It really was. From first look, I
Here
thought he
is
picked
the
it
look
off.
one more time. Over the
Goes
middle.
in and out of the receiver's hand.
I mean, unless...
Golden Jabu ahead.
The only thing...
I mean, our view is kind of blocked from here,
Right,
unfortunately.
so you don't know. Did
One more
the ball
time, Jim.
touch the
You want to get
turf
your thoughts on this catch?
after, when he goes
Is
to
this
the
an
ground, then it's
interception in
hard
your
to see
opinion?
a couple players for Pioneer running by. Did he lose control of it?
I see your Frank Wolf is having fun with the replay right now.
Hard one to see through.
Fortunately, we only have one camera angle at that game.
Caught by
And it
Dalton
looks like
Jabu.
they
Who
called
else?
An interception.
What a
So
play
how
from the
about that?
Pioneer.
And that could pretty much seal it for that one. 7-6 Pioneer. Albion does have 2 timeouts left, but it's a first down and 10 with 1:05 or 1:16 to go in the fourth quarter, rather. But that might be curtains. And if you're going to win a game, to win it the way Pioneer did, where you had 1 touchdown and only 13 points scored, probably not the easiest route to a victory, but it's very impressive because their defense really showed out, Francis.
All right. Meanwhile, looks like Fredonia, they made that extra point, so they lead 36-6 in that one. We'll head back to our Octobox, see everything happening. We have one final game. It is Medina. We haven't gotten a score from them yet, so we're still waiting on that in the Twitterverse on that one. Meanwhile, Franklinville,
Ellicottville has I believe at last check it was 22-8.
now it's 28-8 right now.
Now it's 28-8.
McKinley just scored at 12-7 on a Brandon Liggins 17-yard touchdown run. It is 7:56 left in the fourth quarter in that one, so we're keeping an eye on that. So we're taking, again, look at our Octobox right now. Why don't we head out to game number 8? That's the Titans, who we mentioned have a 28-8 lead over Gowanda. Pine Valley taking a actually, we're going to head out to game number 7. Looks like there's about 1:51 to go in that one. 35-14, Portville leads over Frewsburg in our game number 7. So Portville, as you still have the, let's see, I think they're the 2 seed in this one. Or they're the 3 seed, I should say, in this one with a 35-14 lead.
So they're taking care of business right now as they should. Yes, Portville is 3, so it's the 3-6 matchup. And Portville doing what they need to do right now, 28-14 in the third quarter.
All right, and in Grove Salamanca, it looks like they've had another score. It's now 45-6, Salamanca over Cleveland Hill. Looks like that's still in the third quarter of that one.
As it looks like Cleveland Hill has the football right to left, and it's a handoff left side. Fights his way forward, gets close to midfield, picks up a chunky yards there on that nice run. That power one right up the gut. Give Cleveland Hill credit. They're now 45-6, but they're going to battle to the end, playing with pride. So a lot of credit to Cleveland Hill here.
All right, we're going to pull up Williamsville North Maritime. This one about to go into the fourth quarter. It's 20-12 North in this one. So North holding on an 8-point lead. Maritime, though, still fighting in this one. A lot of close games here tonight.
Yes, that's exactly what we want. I mean, it's the playoffs. These are the best of the best. You wouldn't expect anything less, Francis. And for the most part, we've got some really good games as they take it right up the middle. Meanwhile, Will North, yes, we are waiting. There's 2:18 left to go, or they're about to start the fourth quarter. Still protecting that 8-point lead over Maritime. As looking around the scoreboard.
Looks like Pioneer has the ball 45 seconds and counting, 1st and 10. It looks like they're going to run out the clock and win this one. And it looks like they're going to have a date next week with Maryvale, who just defeated Burgard.
There's 40 seconds left, only one timeout for Albion, and it's going to be hard. You do the math, and it's not on Albion's side. So for Albion, though, a little bit of, I would say that's a pretty crushing loss. You can't have a more razor thin margin. 1 point, one extra point ended up being the difference. Pioneer going to take this one 7-6, but both defenses played well. And also, class move by Albion. They had a timeout left. They could have decided to use it, just to make them snap one more time. But credit to Albion, they decided to be bigger than that. They decided to just let the clock run out. And there it is. Pioneer, that's your football game, folks. Pioneer beats Albion 7-6. So, as Francis, my esteemed colleague, pointed out, it is Pioneer looking like they are going to have a date with Maryvale. So, big win by Pioneer. And, when you have so many other offensive shootouts going on, always nice to have a defensive battle, a defensive struggle, kind of break out in one of the games. And that's exactly what this Pioneer Albion game was. Only 13 points scored, but in the end, Pioneer is the one who scored the most. And hey, it doesn't have to be pretty, Francis. It just has to be a W and not an L.
All right, and meanwhile, we're going to go to Erie, PA, score update from Erie, PA. St. Francis is down 28-20 over McDowell. You might remember McDowell was the team that beat Bennett in the first week of the season, that thrilling overtime game we had here on Western New York Athletics. So the Red Raiders having a little trouble with McDowell too, although it's to note that this is a very similar score to that Bennett game. So for folks wondering between Bennett and St. Francis, who are the best two teams, it's a very close battle right now.
Yeah.
And let me be clear to anyone out there, those are the top two teams in Western New York. You can book that anyone else. They're the best two large schools right now in Western New York.
Francis said it, let it be said, let it be written. So, those of you who agree with it, give Francis a thumbs up. For those who maybe don't, I don't see why you wouldn't agree with it. But if you don't, I'll put Francis back over here. But, no, you're right. You're not going to get an argument from me. And I remember watching that McDowell-Bennett game. Remember, Bennett had the lead a couple of times in that contest. That was a really, really good game. In fact, I still think it was one of the games of the year. So,
update from All High Stadium. It's now 34-12 Clarence. Red Devils looking for that upset, 8-1 upset, and that's good news right now for Jamestown, who is leading. They could end up actually, let's take a look. You have the bracket up there, John. Who would if they hold on, who would Clarence face next round?
Well, so they're the 8th seed, so looking at it, it depends. I believe they would play Jamestown, who's the 2 seed.
No, they would play the winner of Will North and Maritime.
That's right.
And let's head over, because it's still 22-12, Williamsville North over Maritime. Looks like North has the ball inside their own 25, so North looking for to take a 2-score lead. We aren't going to bring back our Octo Box tonight for you, because game number 2 has wrapped up, and it looks like a death of Spiral. So I don't want you to think anything's bad. That's just that would be game number 2 that it has already finished between Pioneer and Albion. But we still have 6 other games still going on. We know Medina defeated Eden North Collins. Still waiting for a final score on that one, but we believe it's 48-7. out of there.
Pioneer beat Albion 7-6. That final we know for sure. So we got a couple finals, but a lot can still happen. We're in, as Francis termed it, we both kind of took the witching out. And, especially in the playoffs, this is where hearts get broken and dreams get made. So sorry for that saying right there, but in a way it's kind of true. I mean, it's everything's coming down. It's Friday night under the lights, and what better place to experience it than with us here on Friday Night Final Drive?
All right, we're going to go down to Class D where it looks like the Titans are driving. Handoff up the middle. Titans up 28-8, and I believe that's probably now in the fourth quarter at this point, although we don't have official update. It looks like they're in the fourth quarter. Let's see. Fredonia has a 36-6 lead in that one. They have the ball deep in their own end. We'll keep an eye on that one. So, John, why don't you take this next play call?
So it is going to be, they're going to line up out of the shotgun, it appears, with one receiver to the right, two to the left. Still holding on to that 28-8 lead. Man in motion to the left side. And now they hand it off up the gut. It didn't pick up a whole lot there. One, maybe two at the most.
All right, let's head over to Salamanca where we have a scoring update. The Golden Eagles have scored. It's now 45-12. It looks like the 2-point conversion was no good. But Salamanca is still holding a sizable lead. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I want to say there's 4 minutes left or so in that game.
That looks right from my vantage point, my friend. 45-12. But again, Cleveland Hill still continuing the battle. Give them props for that. As they now line up left to right, we go back to the Ellicottville game. And they hand it off towards that far side. And he gets not out of bounds, tackled along that far sideline. And this, I believe, is going to bring up third down.
All right, big update from Riverside. Kenmore West moving the ball. The Blue Devils just converted on a 4th and 8. Danny Klein they convert on a 4th and 8, so they're at the McKinley 22-yard line. 3:21 left to go in that one. McKinley up 12-7, so we're keeping a close eye on that one.
So from left to right, or right to left down the field again. Gonna line up with single backfield to snap. And they fake to give rolling left, but he gets taken down there towards that near side. Looked like he tried to get away from the rush and couldn't do so. So now it'll bring up a 4th down as we get later in this contest between Franklinville, Ellicottville, and Gowanda, Pine Valley.
All right, we're going to go back to Portville. Stay in Class D, though. 35-14. Portville still leads in our Game 7. It looks like that's early in the fourth quarter. Portville with the ball, probably looking to add another score, trying to make their way to the second round in Class D. They've played a lot of close games this year, including with CSP. They had, I believe, it was a 9-3 win in that one. So they've had certainly a lot of fun keeping in the thick of it with Randolph and Franklinville, Ellicottville, who is trying to move it. Looks like this is 4th down, and look at that, Gian Nunzo.
Nice run. Oh, what a move. He cut it down the near side. He deked that defender almost right out of his shoes, Francis, and he took it all the way. What dazzling magic there on the ground towards the near side.
Oh, and I just got an update. Kenmore West just scored. It's now 13-12 Blue Devils with a minute left to go on that one, awaiting more details on that one. And it looks like, did Nunzo make it into the end zone, or is it going to be they're setting up for 1st and goal?
Yep. Yeah, so 1st and goal. Let's see. As they're going to break the huddle here. But still, I mean, what a move, though. I mean, I'm only going to do it once, but you hear Chris Berman on ESPN go, whoop, whoop. I don't have quite the low range that he does to then suddenly go, whoop, whoop, but that's basically what he did. And now they fought it right back up the middle, and waiting for the call. Meanwhile, we go back to the Portville game while still awaiting the call on the field over in Ellicottville, but I believe they got in.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. It looks like there was a punt on that play. Trying to get an update from the scoreboard. We did see a big movement, a big play on there. That at least the play moved. Yeah, it looks like it was a big run. So Portville now first and goal in that one. So 2 Class D games inside the 10. Let's head back to Ellicottville first.
So they are kicking the extra point. That was a touchdown for Franklinville, Ellicottville, and they are now up 34-8. And the extra point is up, and it is good. Straight down the uprights. And so now it is 35-8 for Franklinville, Ellicottville over Gowanda Pine Valley. And Phil just scored as well.
Yeah, so they're up 41-14 pending the extra point here.
They say double barrel action in the bullpen. Well, we just got double barrel touchdowns, one in both games in the Southtown.
And meanwhile, we're going to stay down in the Southern Tier where it looks like Jamestown just scored. Let's see, I'm told it was Carson Bain scores in that one. His second touchdown of the day, so it's 26-15 Jamestown pending this extra point.
26-15, Jamestown, 9:38 to go. And for West Seneca West, their defense has held them in that game, but the offense has gone south, and Jamestown's taken advantage of that. And a false start on the PAT down in Jamestown, so they will have to try that again. So for the moment, it's 26-15 Red Raiders, but the extra point try still to come.
All right, meanwhile, it looks like Fredonia is going for a field goal. So we'll watch this kick. End of the third. Still haven't reached the fourth quarter in Depew as that kick is up and is good.
So it is 43.
Oh, 43. That must have been an extra point. For some reason, I thought there was a field goal there. As
it is now 43-6 Hillbillies with 33 seconds to go in the third. Meanwhile, Jamestown.
it looks like they missed that extra point over in Jamestown.
26-15 for the Red Raiders over West Seneca West.
All right, let's head back down to Salamanca, where it looks like the Cleveland Hill Eagles still fighting in this one. They're down inside the goal, down 45-12. Looks like it's about. Can you see the time there? I know they're definitely in the fourth quarter.
It looks like they have 7 minutes to go. Hard to tell exactly, though, as they pitched it to the far side and got in. So in that Salamanca game, looks like Cleveland Hill, they hit it to the far side, spun off at a fair. They went for 2, and it looks like they got it.
All right, we do have an update on that touchdown. It was Danny Klein hitting Jermaine Atkins for it, and then Kenmore West did convert on the 2-point conversion, so it's now 15-12. Kenmore West over McKinley, 1:03 to go in that one. So a nail biter at Riverside. I totally wish there was a camera over in Riverside right now. But let's head over to Williamsville North, where it looks like the Spartans are driving up 1 score with 6 minutes to go.
And it's a shotgun snap. Then they hand it off up the middle towards the near side. Broke free, but then gets wrapped up and taken to the turf. So for Williamsville North, boy, if it's Will North against Clarence next week, I promise this will be the last time I make reference to it. You know what? Maybe not such a happy Karuba household then, because you got Will North against Clarence, so kids against parents in a way there.
All right, so we're following from Riverside. It looks like McKinley got the ball, somehow has gotten the ball to the Ken West 39-yard line right now. I'm trying to figure out how that happened, but we're keeping a close eye on that. About 3 people, they had a Twitter and 2 people texting me with scores from that one.
As Will North, now they hand it off again towards the far side. Picks up a couple of yards on that carry. Hard to tell, I believe it's not there, but one good thing for Will North, whether they get 3 or they get any points here, clock continues to roll. 5 minutes and counting to go in the fourth quarter. Will North still up by 8, 20-12.
All right, run up the middle is stopped.
So stuff there. So the Maritime defense stiffens and hardens to try and home to a field goal. But still, the one thing, a field goal this late in the game, Francis, it's almost as good as a touchdown.
Well,
you have 2 scores.
Yeah, 2 scores. I don't know for sure if Will North has a kicker that they trust that much, but they really hope for that touchdown. Even so, if you have to make Maritime drive the whole end of the field, that's a tough one to do, and convert the 2 points as well.
And they're going to hand it off and get up the middle, pulls his way forward, and did he get in? No, I think he was stopped, but did he get enough for the first? Still looking to see what the call is down on the field. Meanwhile, 4:08 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Game hanging in the balance, folks. And they said he did get enough. So first down and 10 here, working out of the shotgun, 2 receivers right. The snap. And again, it's another draw play straight up the gut. Went forward for a couple of yards there.
All right, update from Riverside. Brendan Wiggins from McKinley. First down run to the West 27. 33 seconds left to go in that one. McKinley needs to score to keep their season alive.
As we're now down 3:38 to go. Back here at Will North. And now a timeout on the field.
We'll head over to Jamestown, where West Seneca West trying to get themselves back into this game. Remember, at one point, West Seneca West had a lead, but Jamestown has fought back. They did that last week, right? West Clarence had a lead, and then Jamestown fought back. They're fighting back again in this one.
The big thing in this one was not only did they trail all the way to halftime, I believe at one point they may have been down 2 scores in this one, but to their credit, they never give up, and they continue to show why their program has been one of the best in Western New York high school football for a while.
All right, we'll stay here as it looks like Will North and Maritime are still in a timeout.
6:58 to go, fourth quarter. Right to left, West Seneca West shotgun snap. Fires it across the middle, intercepted by the Red Raiders. And folks, it's going to be a pick 6 down the near side. Touchdown, Red Raiders. And Francis, I hate to say it, but that might be curtains for this one. Now 32-15 for Jamestown. We'll await the extra point.
All right, update from Riverside. Brandon Wiggins hits Azari Agundier he hit him at the 4-yard line. So 20 seconds to go. Max just used their last timeout. They're at the 4-yard line, a chance to win. Update from Twitter. We do have officially a final. Mustangs defeat Eden 48-7. And then we have a note here. It was Darius Freeney who had the pick 6 for Jamestown. Why don't we head back to Williamsville North?
As it is 20-12 still with 3:20 to go. Clock continuing to run here in the fourth quarter. As Williamsville North is knocking on the door of a score. They're going to line up with single backfield. And now the snap, handoff up the middle, fighting forward. He powers his way. I believe he may have been about a half-yard shy, but we'll see what the officials say. Meanwhile, the extra point was good in the Jamestown game, so it's now 33-15 Red Raiders in the fourth quarter there in Jamestown.
All right, second and goal for McKinley. First and goal attempt. Pass went incomplete for McKinley. 16 seconds left to go at Riverside.
2:57 to go here, fourth quarter from Williamsville North. And it looks like there may have been another timeout on the field.
Yeah, it looks like we have an injured player trying to find another game for us to head to. Why don't we check in game number 7? It is Frewsburg down 42-14, trying to get another score as their season is a couple minutes from coming to a close. Drops back to pass throw.
Gonna sail out of bounds, it looks like, to the far side. And I mean, he got a lot of hang time underneath that throw, but it does go out of bounds, incomplete.
Oh, we do have a final from Riverside. First upset of the night. Kenmore West defeats McKinley 15-12. They will move on to the Class A semifinals, a 3-6 upset. I'm told Wiggins ran outside of the 2, was able to run to the 2, but the McKinley Max could not get set up in time. They had no more timeouts. The clock ran out. So Kenmore West 15-12. They will move on to the second round. John, they would take on Jamestown if the Red Raiders can hold on. So we'll watch that one. As you can see, a big play here. It looks like, Portville got the ball back.
Yes, that was a turnover on downs on that long bomb incomplete. So yes, indeed, Portville does have possession.
Looks like they're still helping the injured player over at Williamsville North. Was it 3rd down and goal for the Spartans, up 8?
Yes, I mean that's a huge moments in that game. First, most importantly, we hope the player is okay, but that is a big moment when that game gets back underway to action. Meanwhile, Portville sitting pretty up 42-14. They have it at midfield, rolling towards the near side, gets away from a defender, still going across the 40, up to the 30. Look at him go across the 20 and scampers out of bounds, close to the 15-yard line of Bruceburg. So Portville up 42-14, and they're looking to add on.
All right.
Although a flag may have come in because it looks like Portville's backing it on up, Francis. Beep, beep, beep.
All right. At J2 Nicey, we have an update for you from West Seneca East. The Trojans just scored, went for 2. We're now all tied up 36-36. I believe that game is in the 3rd quarter. Going to try to see official time in there. Twitter, we do see you. For anybody on Facebook watching right now, we do apologize. We haven't been able to check those comments because we have so many scores coming in. But hopefully we got you all the scores you're needed.
Meanwhile, there's a flag in the Depew game. Fredonia up 43-6, 7:19 left. You almost wonder if things are going to get a little chippy. Tempers might flare with it being a 43-6 game.
Well, I think if you're Fredonia, you're taking your starters out and getting them out of harm's way.
I would absolutely agree with you on that, Francis. You don't even risk the extracurricular stuff.
All right, we're going to head to Franklinville-Elkville, where it looks like they're in the waning moments of the 4th quarter. It's 35-8 last check in that one. Franklinville-Elkville, the 2 seed over Gowanda Pine Valley. In this one, we'll trying to see who. It looks like Franklinville-Elkville has the ball. Trying to look for another score in this one. Oh, let's head back to Will North though. Pass to the right side. Looking for a signal. That one is incomplete.
You could tell they wanted that call, though. You could see by the Spartans jumping around on the near sideline. The referee saying, hold your pogo sticks. Doesn't appear that it's...
I think that may have been 4th down. We're going to try to... I'm just looking at the scoreboard right now. I can't quite see it.
The glare. But what we do know, we know 2 things. Right now it's 20-12 Williamsville North, and there's 2:43 to go in the 4th. That we can tell you as we continue to look here, and I believe that Francis is correct, that it is 4th down. And at this point, if you're the Spartans, you've taken a lot of time off the clock and another timeout on the field. This is starting to remind me of an NBA game when you get down to the final minute. And after every possession, it seems like they're calling timeouts. So right now, that is the case again.
Well, it looks like nothing's stopping Salamanca as they score another touchdown now. 51-20, Salamanca leads.
Snap, and that led to a big-time sack. So not the way you would draw that one up either, Francis, on offense.
All right, real quick, we'll head over to Portville, where it looks like the Panthers are once again inside the 10, looking to put up another score. They lead 42-14 in this one. And after this play, we'll head back out to Will North as the players jog out, which I believe is going to be their fourth. It can actually be the 4th and goal attempt. So snap, run up the middle. It looks like that's a touchdown. But we head back to Will North.
And they roll out to the left. They're going to fire it near side, and that is broken up. I believe so. That is going to be a turnover.
Yeah, turnover on downs. I just got some. So our Tony Fiorello is there. 2:30 to go in that one. Maritime has the ball. 88 yards to go.
Wow.
In that one.
So, and they have to. Here's the other kicker. They have to go for 2. Even if they go the 88 yards, it's not like they can kick the PAT and tie it. No, they also have to go for 2. So I'll say this. If Maritime's able to do that, they'll earn their playoff football stripes. But they don't have much time to work with, 2:36, but that's still enough time. So I think we are in for an exciting finish in that one, Francis.
All right, update from Erie, PA. Red Raiders try an onside kick, don't get it. McDowell takes advantage with the short field. They lead 35-28. I believe that game is in the 4th quarter in that one. If you're at a game on Twitter, be sure to mention us at WNY Athletics so we can see your scores. Oh, we do have a final Monsignor Martin battle. It's the Marauders 34-10 winners over Bishop Timon.
Meanwhile, back at Williamsville North, Maritime going to try to have a late, what would be an extremely heroic 80-some yard drive.
I don't know. Anything can happen, especially playoff football.
Especially in Western New York high school football, and we've seen that. The shotgun snap, fakes the give, rolling left. He's just going to dump it to the short flat near side. Makes the move across the 20, up to the 25. Breaks free of another would-be tackler, and finally gets taken to the turf at around the 30-yard line of Maritime. So they do move the sticks. They continue to chew up some yardage with 2:16 to go. Meanwhile, in Jamestown, still 33-15. Red Raiders 4:11 to play in the 4th in that one.
Yeah, so it looks like Jamestown just got the ball back in that one.
Meanwhile, back to Will North we go on the football scrambler, and it's going to be a long bomb. Throws it deep down the near side. And it is intercepted by the Spartans at around their own 35. They turn it back up to about the 40, and then get taken down there. And then whistles come in because now that play's over. But what a huge interception by the Williamsville North Spartans. And I got to say, I believe that might just clinch it for Will North. A big-time interception. You know, you can't blame Maritime, though. They had to go 88 yards. They knew they needed to get the ball in the air.
They needed a lot of chunks, yeah.
Will North decided that, you know what, they weren't fooled by it. They saw it coming, and they jumped the route and got the interception. Meanwhile, over in Salamanca, it is 51-20 in favor of Salamanca with 35 seconds to play in the 4th. So it looks like Salamanca is going to move on to the second round.
Yeah, we can pull up
51-20 win against Cleveland Hill.
Oh, yeah, let me bring you that one.
Just wanted to give you that update.
Yeah, we are going to pull up brackets in a little bit when a few more of these games go final. We'll kind of show you where the brackets stand right now, at least the brackets coming in, and we'll show you what some of the matchups will be next week, especially after some of these upsets that have already happened tonight.
As it remains 51-20 in favor of Salamanca, 35 seconds to go. And a timeout on the field again in Will North. What is that, Francis? Like our 10th timeout in the last 5 minutes in that game? I mean, I get it's playoff strategy and playoff football, but that is a lot of timeouts there. You know, it kind of slows the pace a little, but it's still been a very exciting game. Meanwhile, Salamanca pretty much counting it down now.
Yeah, it's a triple zeros.
So it is over in Salamanca. That game has gone final. Congratulations to the Salamanca Warriors. They win it 51-20 as they advance to round 2 of the playoffs with a big victory over Cleveland Hill. Again, Cleveland Hill with a great season, but they came up just a little bit short tonight.
All right, we'll head back to Williamsville North. Spartans trying to run out the clock, 1:45 to go in the fourth.
And now it's handoff near side. Tried to turn the corner up that near sideline. Instead, gets wrestled out of bounds around the 45 of Will North.
All right, another upset. We'll slight upset. We have a final. West Seneca East defeats Falconer, Casadega Maple Grove 36-35. And they will advance to the semifinals next week. So Trojans make the trip down to the Southern Tier. They get a win. It looks like, though, their rivals, West Seneca West, aren't going to be so lucky.
No, it does not appear so. But, hey, I'm not sure they'd root for West Seneca East.
Do you think they should? Do you think they're going to stop? They're going to, make the same rest stop on the way home? That would be something if they did unintentionally.
It would be. You could document, it's hard knocks, high school hard knocks. It'd be interesting, but I think they're both going to take some alternate routes back.
I think West Seneca West is going to take the fast track, and West Seneca East is going to take their time in the back.
I don't think there's any love lost between those two teams either. Anyway, with some of the battles that they've had, I'm not sure the one school district. I'm not sure that mentality flies in playoff high school football.
All right, well, it looks like it's going to be Gowanda Pine Valley is going to get another score late in the fourth quarter. Looks like
Jamestown punting it away in their game down the far side.
Yeah, Gowanda was down 35-8 before that score, so it looks like it's going to be 35-14 pending this extra point, if my math serves me right. Actually, we do have a final out of there. Franklinville Ellicottville is going to defeat Gowanda Pine Valley 35-14.
So Franklinville Ellicottville, congratulations to them. They've gone final. Salamanca's gone final. Medina's gone final. And Pioneer's gone final. But we still have 4 games that have not gone final, Francis. So lucky us and lucky you, the viewers here. We've still got more to cover.
All right, another final. Iroquois defeats Olean 52-7. They move on to the Class B semifinals.
So Jamestown again, 33-15 in the fourth quarter over West Seneca West. Fredonia looks like they are going to defeat Depew 43-6. So I know there's some Lancaster fans happy about that, knowing the rivalry that those two programs have. And Williamsville North still, as we said, holding on to that 22-12 lead over Maritime, and Portville up 49-14 over Frewsburg.
Yeah, it looks like there might be an injury in that Will North game. So we'll step away from there. It looks like the Portville game is now over, 49-14. Portville, it looks like that game has gone final. So we have 3 games left. Let's see. Depew Fredonia is in the fourth quarter. They're in a commercial though. So we'll head back to Jamestown.
And with that other game, Portville going final. I'm going to make a rock and roll reference now. We could say another one bites the dust. Another game bites the dust. But we still have 3 games up in the air here. 33-15 Jamestown, 1:30 to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, West Seneca West does have the ball. They're deep in their own end, so it'll be tough to get one score, let alone
they're going to need 3 scores.
3.
So at this point, again, it's about pride for West Seneca West as they will hand it off up the middle, gain 3 or 4 on that play. And that'll bring up a second and I want to say 7 based on where they spot them. Clock continues to roll, 1:20 to go in the fourth quarter from Jamestown. Meanwhile, back at Will North.
It looks like we just saw a kneel down.
So I think this one may be going final as well. And in fact, it is going final. 30 seconds left. Kneel down. So we have yet another final. Will North knocking off Maritime 20-12. And so Will North wins the 4 against 5 seed matchup. And they will move on to the second round. Meanwhile, West Seneca West ran right smack dab into a middle of the eye of a hurricane there, a run blitz, and he gets stuffed up the middle. And so Jamestown now up 33-15, and I wonder if they're going to get another playoff. It does not appear so. So all the finals are coming down hot and heavy, rapid fire, my friend Francis.
Yeah, it looks like the only game really left is the Fredonia Depew, which is in the fourth quarter. So I think after this we'll take a look at the brackets, John, and we won't be able to actually fill in terms of type in so you can see it visually on the screen, the actual names, but we can kind of talk through it, and you can see the brackets, and we can see the actual matchups we're expected to see next week as that clock goes to 000. Jamestown is going to move on to the semifinals 33-15 in this one.
And meanwhile, I will continue to check and see if we can get a final for the Clarence Red Devils. They were in the midst of a big upset over South Park, but I have not seen an update from them yet. Let's see if we can find a way to get the finals here before we sign off.
Meanwhile, let's look at the brackets, John.
Indeed.
Yeah, so AA, the games we haven't talked about Bennett, we haven't talked about Lancaster. That's because they're not playing this week. There's only 5 teams in AA this year. They decided the 5th team was going to play a matchup game, no Funky Bowl in AA, unfortunately, against an 8 team. So only 4 teams. So they all get a bye week this week. They'll play their semifinals next week before they head to the finals at the stadium. So let me. You can kind of see the brackets on your screen. I want to pull it up I want to be able to move it for you, all of you. But we'll look at Class A. So at the top of the bracket, we have South Park Clarence. We're still waiting for an update from that, but last we heard, Clarence had a fairly sizable lead. So let's just say for a second they move on. And we just saw Windsor North win. So it looks like the Spartans will host Clarence. Remember, that game was just happened a couple weeks ago at Clarence. Will North actually won that game pretty sizably in that one. So Spartans look confident. Bottom of the bracket, other side, Jamestown just won. And then we just saw Kenmore West with an upset win over McKinley. So it looks like the Blue Devils are going to make the trip down to the Southern Tier.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And for the Red Devils, I mean, a little fun fact about them, their head coach for the football program, Paul Bergio, he was actually my middle school gym teacher.
All right.
So, I'm used to calling him Mr. Bergio. Always a little weird to call him Coach Bergio now, but I haven't been in middle school for about 15 years now. So, but it's always good to say, and the head coach that they had before, Mark Lair, was my elementary gym. Now you got to go back over 20 years. But it really shows you some of the stability that football program has had. We talk about Jamestown, we talk about some of these but Clarence, they've had 2 head coaches in about 20 years. I mean, that's very impressive for that football program.
All right, let's take a look at that Class B bracket. So we saw Iroquois had a big win over Olean. I believe it was 52-7. They move on. And we saw West Seneca East, a 1-point come from behind victory over Falconer Cassadaga Maple Grove. So it'll be Iroquois against West Seneca East. That game, I believe, that was actually the second. That was the second to last regular season game of the season, where Iroquois won by a fairly sizable margin in that one. Trying to pull up the score here in this one. I'm not sure I'll be able to. I don't think I'll be able to pull up the score in that one, at least not right away. Other side of the bracket, you see Maryvale won last night, 58 over Burgard. They're going to face Pioneer, who came up with that razor-thin 7-6 win over Albion. Trying to look to see.
That's funny, Jinx. But I'm actually looking to see, has the Fredonia game gone final yet either? That's the last of the 8 that we have in our Octobox that is yet to go final. So I am looking to see that as well. And once we know, obviously, we will pass that along to you, our faithful viewers, who we thank for tuning in all season long, the Friday Night Final Drive. And so we certainly appreciate it. And it's still going to be a tremendous high school playoff still to come. And we've had some good games tonight, Francis, I would say. Pioneer Albion was a one-score game. We saw Williamsville North eke out a one-score win against Maritime. I mean, a lot of these games have been pretty entertaining. I mean, that Jamestown West Seneca West game, yes, it ended up being 33-15, but that was an entertaining tug-of-war pretty much all the way through halftime. And so I think that in terms of quality of games, it's been a pretty nice way to open the playoffs.
And keep in mind, for Pioneer, they got a little bit of revenge. They lost to Albion back in week 4 of the season, 22-6. So, and that was at home at Pioneer. So they get a little revenge. They'll move on to take on Maryvale in the second round, as you can see here. We'll go to Class C. Medina, big winners tonight. It looks like Fredonia is going to win that one. What we were waiting to hear if that one has gone final, but last we saw pretty late, the fourth quarter was 43-6, Fredonia over Depew. So it looks like it's going to be Medina Fredonia in the first semifinal.
And if that's the case, that could be an offensive shootout. Medina put up 48 today, and Fredonia put up 43. The two of them outscored their opponents by a grand total. How about this, Francis? 91-13 in the two combined victories. I mean, that's domination. And let's see.
Yeah, it looks like 43. It looks like that game has gone final, but we have yet to. No, it looks like there's about 442 left in that one. That one's on the NFHS network. Speaking of the NFHS network, while we're on the Class C bracket, tomorrow, the big game, at least up in Erie County, it's going to be Southwestern making the trip up to Lackawanna, 7-2 battle, 1 o'clock. That'll be on the NFHS network. Jake Fyock, Tom Prince will be in the call. So just grab your NFHS subscription now. It's going to cover you for that game. It's going to cover you for next week's games. We also have plenty of soccer going on tomorrow. And there's going to be more soccer, volleyball going throughout the week. And this will be the place where you can watch the games at the stadium as well, all through the state. So grab it now. You'll have one subscription covers you all the way through states for pretty much all sports in Section 6. Yeah.
And in addition to that, and I know Francis here is going to love me for mentioning this, but you know what? And then we got high school hockey coming up in December.
Whoa. Don't get too ahead of me here.
You see, both times I've said that, you've had the exact same reaction, but it's true. I mean, it's worth getting. It keeps you covered for all the sports. And then it will cover you when you get to basketball and hockey as well. Just throwing it out there, Francis.
So again,
just trying to back you up.
1 o'clock, Lackawanna, Southwestern on the NFHS network. The winner of that game will take on Salamanca, who had a 51-20 win over Cleveland Hill. And then to Class D, Randolph got the bye. One of the teams in Class D, lower seeds, dropped out, so they got the bye. They'll take on the winner of tomorrow's game between CSP and Wilson. That's the 4-5 matchup. Franklinville, Ellicottville, big winners tonight, as well as Portville. So Evil Frank and Portville will meet once again and winner goes to the stadium. I want to see. Those two teams did play in the regular season. I just want to see what the score was in that one.
And we want to point out Depew just hit a big home run play for a touchdown. So how about that, Francis? They give us at least one more touchdown before all is said and done. It's now 43-12 Fredonia. Again, it's not really going to impact the outcome because with 3:50 to left, Fredonia is going to move on. But give credit to Depew. They're going to go down, but they're going to go down swinging at least. And you like to see that. You know, it's a 4-quarter game. You always like when, you see big plays like that because, you don't know how many more of these playoff games you're going to get in your high school career. So always good to see when they get a big moment, a big touchdown in the playoffs.
All right, looking at Section6Football.com. So these two, so Franklinville, Ellicottville, and Portville did play in Week 4, and it was Franklinville, Ellicottville coming up with the 16-8 win in that one. So they are set to rematch. This game will be once again at the home of the Titans, probably Ellicottville. So that'll certainly be a fun one next week for the right to go to the stadium. I believe the stadium's about 2 weeks away now.
Yeah, absolutely. Counting it down. And Depew did go for 2 and made it. So it is now 43-14 Fredonia in the fourth quarter. It was 43-12. Now it's 43-14 with 3:51 to play. We keep you covered from whistle to whistle.
Well, I guess we'll stay on to the end of this game. You saw those brackets. I'll try to see if there's any more scores that came in through the Twitterverse, but we've had a couple upsets. We talked about the 6 seed Kenmore West gets the win over McKinley, and we're also still waiting for that Clarence score right now. We thought we had someone there, but we haven't gotten an update in quite a while. So we're watching for that one.
Because again, that is not it's a playoff game, but it really does bust up the brackets. It really does, it obviously affects the fate of Williamsville North. It affects it as so many, so let us see who prevails in that one. Meanwhile, Fredonia is going to get the ball back. I would expect up by multiple scores. Fredonia is just going to look to bleed out this clock. Depew only has 2 timeouts left, and it was a bit of a squib kick down that far sideline, and I believe Fredonia, yes, in fact, did dive on top of it. So they get the football with 3:50 left to go, up 43-14, and it looks like they are going to have a date, as Francis said, with Medina next week, who won 48-7 earlier this evening against Eden North Collins.
Talk about a long bus trip for Fredonia, going all the way to Medina.
Yeah, going all the way to Medina. They had a long one just to go all the way up to Depew, but it's going to be a happy bus ride back as they're going to come away with a playoff win. But yes, having to go to Medina, that's going to be, but hey, you know what? Fredonia's used to that. So they figured out a way. It didn't affect them tonight. I really don't think it's going to affect them that much against Medina. I think we're in for a good battle in that matchup.
All right, and we do have a final. Looks like McDowell defeats St. Francis 42-28 in down in Erie, PA. And I'll just say this: Bennett took McDowell to overtime.
Yes.
That's a it's a 2-touchdown game for St. Francis. So I think those talks should start to bumble back to the service. I don't know. No, I don't want to say trash talking, but I think a healthy debate between people who follow this, seeing who's the top team.
Yes,
those two teams have been mostly at the top 10 of the Buffalo News polls, or mostly top 1 or 2 of the Buffalo News polls. So I think Bennett has a real case now to say, hey, maybe we're the number 1 team. They have an equal measuring stick there in McDowell.
Put together a nice resume, that's for sure. As Depew now has the football. 1st and 10, toss sweep towards the near side across the 40. On the run and slides down. He actually fell as he tried to pump the brakes and cut it back. Instead, lands right on his rear end at around the 32-yard line. He'll be touchdown on contact there. But Depew did get the football back with 2.5 to go. I mean, they're still down 43-14, so it's still going to be a very, very tough uphill battle. But if Depew could get another touchdown here, even with 2:20 left, at least they can make the score even more respectable. I mean, at least you're closing it out on a positive note heading into next season if you're Depew. On a 2nd down and 3, they have single backfield. It's a handoff up the gut, and there he goes across the 25 and finally gets tackled. He is tied up and taken to the turf at around the 22 or 23. More than enough for a 1st down. Meanwhile, clock keeps rolling inside 2 minutes to go in regulation. And it is a fresh set of downs for the Depew Wildcats down the field left to right.
Meanwhile, let's take a look at the scores we do have final. This is the only game still happening right now. Jamestown defeats West Seneca West 33-15 in our first game of the night. Game number 2, Pioneer edges out Albion 7-6.
And look at this cutback to the far side. 15-10, 5, and he's going to take it on in for 6. Touchdown Wildcats. So, again, that's 2 touchdowns in the span of a couple minutes. I think if you're Depew right now, you're thinking,
this is a good way to end your season. And they may have a matchup game next week.
What a good way to end the season, but I'm sure they wish this would have happened maybe a little bit earlier, this long surge. But yes.
All right, I'm going to beg. You talked about Clarence. I went to Ken Maurice. The Bulldogs get a big win, 30-19. First win for Ken Maurice since 2019. First win for new head coach Matt O'Malley for the Bulldogs. So big one for that program.
And Depew's going for 2. Oh, nice sweep to the near side, and he is going to waltz on in. So the 2-point is good, so it's 43-22. And I think they fooled almost everybody on that. Almost fooled me, Francis, as he decided to start quarterback keeper and then flip it out near side. And just a great job there, and they cut it to 43-22 now.
All right, so our other games that are tonight. So we mentioned Pioneer, 7-6 razor-thin win on that interception bobble. They clinch it there, and they move on to the next round. They'll take on Maryville. Williamsville North holds off Maritime Health Sciences 20-12. Maritime's run as sectional champions comes to an end. Of course, this year they moved up from Class B to Class A, but still no championship ending for the Falcons. Medina bounces back from that loss last week to Albion, 48-7 winners over Eden North Collins. And then we have Salamanca 51-20 over Cleveland Hill in Class C. And then Class D, our last 2 games, Portville defeats Frewsburg 49-14. They'll take on Franklinville-Ellicottville, who are 35-14 winners over Gowanda Pine Valley.
And it's another onside kick attempt by Depew, but I don't think it went 10 yards, and I think maybe a whistle came in with a minute 30 left as Depew kicked it. Still trailing 43-22, and I wonder if they're going to have to make him re-kick again. As the clock keeps going, though, a minute 25.
Yeah, I wonder if they're kind of running the clock because the game's out of hand. They just want to get out of there.
That's true. Yes.
Fredonia has a bit of a bus ride ahead of them. Well, tonight, and then next week they have to go up to Medina, which will sure be a fun game.
And with it being a 21-point lead for Fredonia, I think they've got it with a minute left. And no, so they give the ball over to the Hillbillies. And with under a minute to go, they'll probably just go into victory formation here, Francis. Kneel it down and pretty much put the end to this one. But, hey, Fredonia, they came up. They had a long bus ride, but give them credit. They didn't show any bus lag. You know, they call it jet lag. I'll call it bus lag. Well, they didn't show any side effects of that. They came out, played their game, and they handled business. And, you know, that's been tricky for some of the top seeds tonight. We've seen a couple of them stumble. And but give credit to Fredonia because they did not, as they are going to win 43-22. You can count it down, Fredonia fans. 20 seconds left to go, and at that point, Francis, all our games have gone final then.
Yeah, all of our games have gone. Gone final. We had a couple upsets.
We're still looking for that Clarence South Park.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get that Clarence South Park game anytime soon. Yeah. I think that'll wrap it up for us tonight. John, why don't we go over those scores one last time, and then we'll wrap it up on the Friday Night Final Drive for the final time this season.
It's a bittersweet moment in the show. It's been a lot of fun, my friend, doing it with you these last couple of weeks. I've enjoyed watching it. Yes, we will wrap it up. Jamestown beating West Seneca West 33-15. It was Pioneer winning in a defensive struggle 7-6 over Albion. It was Fredonia who took down Depew 43-22. Williamsville North taking down Maritime 20-12. Medina over Eden North Collins 48-7. It was Salamanca over Cleveland Hill 51-20. It was Portville beating Frewsburg 49-14. And finally, last but not least, Franklinville Ellicottville with a 35-14 victory upset over Gowanda Pine Valley. And that is a look around the 8 games on our Octobox.
And that thing's going to wrap it up. So I did one final refresh of Twitter. I don't have an update for South Park Clarence. We thought we had someone there, but we haven't got an update in a while. So we'll have to, so keep an eye on
Section 6 football.
Yeah, as soon as we know something, I'll put it out there immediately on Twitter. As soon as I see something, I'll retweet it or tweet it out. And I'll also be tweeting out, we talked about some of those expected matchups for next week, which are going to be really interesting. And we'll be on, some of them will be on the NFHS network. So tune in tomorrow. Make sure 1 o'clock, it's going to be Southwestern at Lackawanna. In that one, big Class C battle. Tom Prince, Jake Fyack on the call for that one. And next week, again, final show of the week. So get your NFHS subscription. I'll be out at a game somewhere covering one of these fantastic games as well.
And I think just a final thought on my end, and then you can sign us off. I just want to take one more opportunity to thank people that we need to thank. Frank Wolf, Francis Beck right here, who has been doing it all season long from Mission Control, sometimes by himself, having to run the
There was only 1 week.
Scrambler.
There was only 1 week.
But you still deserve credit for it. Football Scrambler. Nick, he's done a great job for us all season. Brock tonight, awesome job. And really the entire WNY Athletics crew, staff. It's been an absolute pleasure. And most of all, thank you to the viewers and listeners for letting us come into your home. We really do appreciate.
Yeah, keeping us in your ear while you're watching your game. We know a lot of guys do that.
Yeah, and we really do thank you for it. And with that, I'm going to let the producer extraordinaire sign us off here. Francis, take us home, man.
Oh, and I do want to make another quick mention. Sunday, 1 o'clock, no Bills game until Sunday night, till 8 o'clock. So be sure to tune in here for our Monsignor Martin football preview show. We know we got a lot of a lot of people loved our Section 6 preview show. Same idea. We're going to have actually all 6 teams. We're going to have 2 players from each team in. Tom Prince, Tim Chief, and I are going to interview those guys, and we're going to talk about those teams as well. So be sure to tune in 1 o'clock Sunday, Monsignor Martin football preview. And, of course, tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Lackawanna Southwestern. For our producer, Brock, my co-host, again, John Karuba, I'm Francis Beck. Thank you for tuning in to the Friday Night Final Drive.
Life can be full of surprises, but not always the good kind. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care, and we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.